You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Apparently, Kermit was right.
It's not that easy being green.
It's not easy being green. There have been a few froggy freakouts.
Tell you why I'm angry.
That's all the time we have today.
I'm talking about two Greens in Congress who need to grow up. I'm Dr. Phil with The Real Story. Now, Al Greene, the other night at Trump's, not State of the Union meeting, but address to the joint session of Congress, he decided to stand up and yell out what I couldn't understand or see and shake his cane at the President of the United States of America.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
This wasn't in his office. This wasn't in the parking lot. This wasn't in the hallway outside the Oval Office. This was at a joint session of Congress for the entire world to see. I just don't think that's particularly good decorum.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Take your seat.
Even CNN was ashamed, not just of Greene, but the entire Democratic Party.
It started out with Al Greene getting thrown off the House floor because he couldn't keep his emotions under control. Then they had the ridiculous paddles, which now social media is roasting.
That you said false on one side and
ridiculous.
Elon on
and
the
then
other.
finally, and maybe most terribly, the Democrats who couldn't find it in their heart to stand for objectively good things, including the 95-year-old mother of Mark Fogel and Mark, who got rescued from a Russian prison, and they couldn't even stand up for that.
I said it's not easy being green because Marjorie Taylor Greene at the 2023 State of the Union message just seemed to feel like she needed to draw a lot of attention to herself.
That means Congress doesn't vote.
Marjorie screams liar at Joe Biden. Now, Al Greene was censured. Now, that's supposed to be a big deal. They go into the well, they're read something that calls them out for what they did. Now, in this case, Democrats went around him and started singing, "We Shall Overcome" or whatever, so it drowned the whole thing out.
The House will come to order. Clear the well, please. Clear the well.
And then he marches out in further defiance. Marjorie Taylor Greene wasn't even censored, but at least she was pretty good at embarrassing herself. In the 2021 House debate, she also yelled GTFO, which I'm pretty sure stands for Get the F Out, at Representative Marie Newman. Their beef, Newman put a pride flag out, so Greene put up "There are two genders" sign. But you don't need to be Greene to act like a child in Congress. In 2024, Representative Jamal Bowman, Democrat for New York, pulled a fire alarm during a vote to avoid a shutdown. 2022, Lauren Boebert heckles Joe Biden over Afghanistan. Pelosi shreds Donald Trump's State of the Union speech. 2019, Pelosi again. this dramatic slow clap at Trump's State of the Union. 2018, Brett Kavanaugh's nomination. Kamala Harris, dramatic bathroom breaks. 2013, Ted Cruz, we're going green again. 21-hour filibuster reading Greene, Eggs, and Ham.
Sam I am. That's Sam I am. That's Sam I am.
Look, this isn't new. In 1902, there was a fist fight on the Senate floor between Senators Benjamin Tillman and John McLaurin, both from South Carolina. They're from the same state. In 75, the Watergate babies walk out of Gerald Ford's address. But these were rare events. Now, I don't know, it just seems like the norm. Here's the question. How do we look on the world stage? How does the international market look at us? I understand people get passionate about these things. I know they get upset. I know they don't like what's going on. I understand that. And I understand they want to express themselves. But do we want to look like Turkey? Or Sri Lanka? I mean, come on. This is the United States of America. If you don't respect the man or woman in the position, respect the office. Respect the position. Respect yourself. Respect America, for God's sakes. What message does it send to the rest of the world? I watched that address. We had a town hall meeting about it. We had a town hall meeting before the address, then we watched it, and then we had a town hall meeting after it. I didn't just look at it from one side or the other. I had Cenk Uygur here from the Young Turks. He and I have gotten to know each other. I've been on his show, he's been on mine. Sometimes we argue, sometimes we agree, but we always finish up being friends, which is what I think needs to happen in this country again, don't you?
Yep, absolutely.
He took a point of view, I took a point of view, we let the audience take points of view. Everybody was respectful. Not everybody agreed, but everybody was respectful. What happened to decorum? What happened to self-respect?
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police.
President Trump recognized a young boy that had been fighting brain cancer. It was a heartwarming story. Did he have that young boy there because it was a heartwarming story? Yes, he did, of course. I understand that. But nobody stood up on the Democratic side and validated and celebrated that young man. Let me assure you, they would not have been clapping for Donald Trump. They would have been celebrating and uplifting that young man. And when they did not, make no mistake, any objective viewer would conclude that that was a negative for the Democratic side of the room. When a young man gets admitted to West Point, what is the controversy in that? They did not stand up. How in the world is that becoming? Who is advising these people? And listen, it's not Democrat, it's Democrat and Republican. I just went through all of the examples. We need to require our representatives, our senators, our congressmen to hold themselves to a higher standard. When they embarrass themselves, they embarrass us. And we should let them know when they embarrass us. We should let them know that everybody in that chamber is an American. Everybody in that chamber was put there by Americans. And everybody in that chamber is representing Americans. And everybody in that chamber needs to remember they work for us. And when they're in there, they need to remember that they're representing us. They're not in there running their own agenda. They're in there representing their constituents. And if you don't hold them to that standard, they won't perform to that standard. We all need to hold them to a standard of decorum. Democrat or Republican, they need to be held to a standard. And we need to let them know. Send them a letter. Call and leave a message on their voicemail. Let them know we expect you to conduct yourself with decorum in a statesmanlike fashion. Behave yourselves. Don't act like children. Do your jobs. If you want to pout, pout on your own time. You're working for us. That's the real story, and I'm Dr. Phil.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.